live. We're live, I think.
Yeah, man. So, hello, people. How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Marketing Discussion Show. Today, we will be talking about how you can grow your brand using digital PR with
Another episode
Deepak
of
Shukla.
Marketing Discussion Show. Today we will be talking about
Deepak
how you can
is a
grow your
UK-based
brand
SEO
using digital
consultant
PR.
with
With
over 8 years of experience in the industry. You may have seen him host a number of webinars for none other than SCM Rush. So, guys, put your hands together and let's welcome Deepak on our show.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Deepak,
how you doing? How is everybody?
all's good, man. All's
Good.
good. What about you?
Yeah, good. It's really happy to have the opportunity to talk about actual digital PR. I with SEM Rush, I'm often interviewing people. The webinars that I go on to, I'm talking often about agency growth and sales. So it's nice to talk about digital PR. It's something that we do actually more and more here at Pearl Lemon. So I'm good, man. I'm good, brother.
Uh-huh. So we are as excited as you are to share your knowledge. Deepak, why don't you give a brief introduction to people
Yeah.
who don't know you?
Absolutely. So, guys, if you have no idea who I am, my name's Deepak. You can probably tell from my accent that I'm from England, London. My family are Indian, of course, and I run an agency. It's called Pearl Lemon. You can see here, and we have been running for a couple of years now. I think maybe 3 years, and our core specialism is SEO. And as part of that, we do a lot of digital PR. So I'm just excited to share with you today, really, some of our processes and strategies and what we do, as well as, of course, primarily to get some engagement from you guys and understand what questions you have, what you'd like to learn. And yeah, I'm just really excited to make sure that you guys get the best value. So that is the plan for today. And I'm just looking forward to hearing, what everybody kind of wants to learn specifically within the space of digital PR.
That is awesome, man. So, guys, if you are in the watching this live, so go in the comment section and type hi. And if you have any question, let's keep this interactive. So it's not generic for a broad audience. It's specifically target. The answers are specifically for you, so that you can actually solve real problems, not some imaginary problems. Right?
Exactly, guys. So I'd love to hear, I mean, why digital PR? What your struggles with it are?
Mhm.
What you're looking to achieve with it? Are you trying to get in? I don't know, get into Forbes for the sake of getting into Forbes, or are you trying to generate more sales, more backlinks, something else? Maybe you're not really sure what the difference between digital PR and SEO is, or whatever it may be. I would love to take the first couple of minutes to allow you to build your questions in, and I'm sure that Vinay is gonna share them with me. Are they going to be? They're going to be in the group, aren't they, Vinay?
Yeah. Faiz will
Perfect.
be highlighting all the questions in here, and we can take it one by one.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, yeah, guys.
So Deepak, how you got into this? How you got started with SEO, Pearl Lemon, and this digital PR industry?
Dude, I think that it's really a bit of an accident, I guess, maybe. Hey Mayo, good to see you. Hey MD. It was, I said it was an accident. So I started in the agency space in October 2016, and to be honest with you, I still remember my first client, George, who ran a company called Go International, and that was in August 2017. I remember getting on a call. It was a pitch from Upwork, and he said he wanted lead generation. And then I got on the call, and he said, "Oh, Deepak, I'm here to ultimately, I want to rank my business on Google. I understand SEO takes a long time, so I'm, it's a 6-month journey." And I heard all of this, and I thought, wow. So you need 6 months for SEO, and this is how long it takes. So I really want to get involved in this business. It sounds like a good business. So that was where I decided that day or that month, August 2017. I thought, right, this is a good business to be in. let me do everything I can to try and learn about SEO and try and learn how to sell as well as deliver SEO. And then from there, to be honest with you, Vinay, I like people. I like to communicate at least some of my thoughts, and PR was a natural extension because, a big part of building my agency, a big part of SEO has been ultimately, outreach, messaging people that you don't know to try and exchange some value. So PR has been a real natural extension once you start. Really, interestingly enough, I think everything stems a little bit from sales. When you sell, you have to introduce what you do and frame it as being of value to the prospect, and that doesn't change in SEO. It doesn't change in digital PR. It doesn't change in a lot of spaces. So the interesting thing is that in many ways, sales is like the foundational base, I think, that can help build everything else. So that's why, to a degree, we're here today.
Awesome, man. So the thing is, in the Indian industry, we have noticed, like, whenever we talk about outreach and PR, mostly people in the SEO industry specifically, they think outreach is just for link building and nothing more.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you reach out to them, you get links, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I personally believe, like, there's a lot more to that, and it's not just about links so that you can rank. It's about building that exposure you can get along with that links. What's your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, guys, link building is definitely a core component of digital PR, but I think you're missing a huge part of it if you don't also think about the relationships that you can build, about the introductions that it can lead to, as well as the type of links that you can get. A lot of people rely upon maybe doing stuff like sponsored guest posts, and they think, well, that's PR. It's not really. It's not at all. And it's really a huge opportunity that can be missed. Building relationships with editors of magazines, or building relationships with journalists or bloggers, and getting yourself mentioned in a lot of places. I think that it's really, it leads to exposure, and there's many different types of PR or SEO, if you want to consider PR to be a part of SEO. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you some of the stuff that I've been doing, that we do at Pearl Lemon. And I'm going to give you some live examples of how we can find some PR opportunities today, and how we can activate it. So I'm going to be going through that with you all.
That would be great, man. So for someone who is just starting out, he knows SEO basics are clear, like on page, and all the technical outreach, link building, all the parts are clear. But PR in itself is a entire industry, and that can be linked with multiple different industries and can form a new thing. But it itself is a new separate entity as well. So when someone is just getting into or just getting started with the PR or digital PR industry, what are the things we should keep in mind when we are just starting out? We don't know anything about that.
Absolutely. I think that when you're just getting started with PR, I think there's a couple of things that become really important. It's what are you trying to ultimately achieve through PR is a big thing to understand. So if your ultimate end game of PR is about link building, then you can focus on very specific aspects of PR, and that might be, there's of course press releases that you could do. There's different syndication services that people are familiar with, PR newswire type stuff, and any alternative. If you're looking ultimately at other opportunities, then there's specific kind of industry vertical stuff that you could do. So if you're a startup and you want to try and get listed on, Mashable, I think let me go back a step. I think if you're just getting started, understand why you want PR. What do you think PR means for you? I mean, what is the ultimate end goal? One of the big things that we'll ask to our clients is, why PR? Like, what do you want to try and do? And then I think that PR today, what's quite interesting, has of course changed a lot. So traditional PR is magazines, it's offline press with a combination of online as well. So, you might have the Times of India, and depending upon you getting a feature or getting a mention on the actual physical newspaper, as well as getting a mention on their website, it's about correlating what do you want to do and what's the reason for it. Do you want to get as featured in on your website? Do you want to get, links being indexed so you can look them up in SEMrush or Ahrefs or whatever you use? Or is the reason to get brand recognition? Maybe you want direct referral traffic. Maybe you sell a financial product, and being in the Times of India is really, really important, or The Economist. And that might be directly a means of getting referral traffic. So I think that these are the things that you should think about. And once you decide what's most important to you, then it becomes easier to determine what you're trying, how you should make a move.
That makes sense now. Because most of the people, when we look at the SEO industry, they don't even know. They are just copying what someone else is saying.
Yeah.
We don't know. We see people doing the exact same thing, not trying out what they want, not experimenting with stuff, and just if they don't even know why the hell they are doing that.
Yeah. I mean, the classic thing that people do is that they might pull a list from, there's all these guest post providers, or they might just find some. The classic thing that people will try and do is look at a website in Ahrefs or SEMrush, pull out all of the backlinks they've got, look at the high domain sites, and then just send them kind of the same spammy email. Maybe that's the way that they do it, and this is what people will try and do. And there's some critical things I think that you should really consider that would help you have a lot more success when you look at things like that. And I think that when you're thinking about digital PR, one of the things that's really important that is often missed in my view is making sure that you've got some having a brand to promote is a really, really important thing. So I think that when we think about what's possible, and I'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead, Vinny, and just share my screen to start giving some examples. Does that work for you?
Yeah, sure, man. Go ahead.
Amazing. So, can
you add it to the studio?
Perfect. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. So, I want to give you some examples of what we think about when you're thinking about brand, like PR and the value of it. Okay, so I'm just Googling, myself as an example to see what you can see. And guys, what you need to think about is that when you do PR outreach, there needs to be, at least depending upon what you're trying to achieve, I think that you'll have a lot more success if you have some evidence of your brand online. So if you're trying to do personal PR for an individual or company PR, it's much easier to do both and attach it to an individual. So a good example of this is, I search my name, of course, and there's, the mere fact, for example, that I've got a website, I've done the things that we speak about. This is very helpful for when someone looks me up and decides whether they want to include me as with a mention or whatever it might be. So it's this having something like this for yourself or for your client is really important. And then, of course, just your own company website as well, because people do look at this and then make a decision to a degree, or it helps them understand, well, who is this person that's approaching me, and what's their value. And what you'll commonly get instead is, if I go to my email now and I go to guest, let's write the word guest post. Let's see what comes up when I write guest post. Give me a second. Here we go. So this is commonly the most common kind of email that people get, right? Link building and content service writing provider. I'm a blogger outreach. And this is someone, of course, ultimately selling probably links. And this is the kind of email you get used to seeing. But really, I don't know who Alessandra is. I then just look at her as being a commodity. And, I just ignore emails like this. I just go ahead and literally delete it, so it's gone. So I think that, when you're thinking about PR, you need to consider how are you positioned? How is your company positioned? or the company who's your client, and then you can begin, making an outreach, and there's lots of different things that you could do with that. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and go to Twitter, and I'm going to show you something quite cool. Okay, so we're on Twitter right now, and we're thinking about outreach. So I'm going to go to Explore on Twitter, and I'm going to type PR request. Okay, I'm going to go to latest, and let's have a look at what comes up. Can you already see that there's people that are requesting UK wholesalers and suppliers of physical, looking for beauty brands to work with for an upcoming post? How does 3 months of ad space for £20 sound? I have ad spots available. Would you like to share a story? So, would you like to share a story about food with me? So, the interesting thing is that there are actually companies and people that are looking for content all the time. Okay, so this one place is an excellent source, and of course, you can actually go to advanced search. You could go to include all of these words. So that would be PR request. So we do that. We'll also do none of these words. So we'll do what else? Any of these words. So all of these words, and then maybe we're searching, for example, for SEO because we want to get mentioned as an SEO expert, and we're looking for English, and we're also looking for something that's come up in the last. But you know what? We'll ignore that. Let's just have a look at what comes up.
Yeah, Deepak, let's say if we had to do digital PR for per lemon, how will you go about it, right?
Brilliant. So guys, let me show you what I'd do if I was doing digital PR for Pearl Lemon. Okay, so I'm back sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is what I'd do if I was doing digital PR for Pearl Lemon. So I would first of all have a look at SEO Expert London. So I'm based in London. Have a look at who I can identify. So Daniel Foley, SEO London. So let's have a look at Daniel Foley. So Daniel Foley, okay? We're going to have a look at what this guy does. So I'm going to open up Ahrefs. I'm going to log in. So I'm in Ahrefs now. I'm going to go to Daniel Foley's website. Open that. I'm going to go into Ahrefs. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I would do it, okay? So we'll go to backlinks. We'll go to one link per domain. We'll go to link type, do follow. We'll sort it by the domain reputation to get the highest domain reputation. So we've got 84. Right, so there's first of all, from a SEO perspective, there's sites that we can probably link to for free, right? But let's just keep going, okay? So what we'll do is we've got Daniel Foley here now, and we're going to ultimately build a spreadsheet. Let's go to Google Sheets, and we're doing Pearl Lemon PR, of course. So I'm gonna walk you guys through it, and feel free to interrupt me if there's any questions that you've got.
Absolutely, man.
Cool. So we're doing Pearl Lemon PR, and we're gonna this sheet is going to be Daniel Foley because that's who we're looking at to begin with. Okay. We'll go into here. We'll go to export. We'll go to full export, 161 rows. So start export. We'll be available in a few minutes, but while we're waiting, we will set up the sheet to prepare for ultimately our link building outreach. And you know what? In fact, let me just have it come to my email as well. So we'll go to send email and export is complete. Okay, download. So we've got it. Okay, fantastic. So we've got it now. So we go ahead and pull everything that's coming from Daniel Foley's site. Great. So we'll now go to, we'll do a second thing now, guys, which is, you know what, actually, we'll copy it all over into the Daniel Foley tab that we've got here. because he's ranking #1 for our target keyword, which was SEO expert London. I'm currently, of course, I'm logged into myself, so it might be a little bit different. We'll go into incognito and take a quick look. SEO expert London. Allow. I agree. SEO expert London. So he's #1 still. I'm #5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm #5. This guy's got his schema sorted because he's got this here, which is great. So I'm #5. So it's like, okay, great. I'm going to focus on the man who's #1, which is Daniel Foley. So we've confirmed that. Our target keyword is the SEO expert London. The volume is 720 a month. So it's a good search volume. We've got some decent competition here, but not too crazy. We go to here, which is the folder that the sheet that we've just copied in. We'll go ahead and sort it doing that. We'll now get rid of stuff that's irrelevant. So I'm not bothered too much about URL rating. I'm not too bothered right now about that either. We'll get rid of that also. We'll keep the number. So we'll keep that as DR, referring page URL, content type. Okay. This is going to become important because we're gonna get rid of all of this. We don't need this stuff. We'll go back up. One of the things that internal links count, external links count. We don't care. Delete. So we'll go ahead and just get rid of stuff that. So this is, believe this is do follow only, which is good. So we probably could also get some of the no follows because there's going to be still some good stuff there. What I also like to do is get rid of stuff or get rid of columns that we don't need to make the sheet tidier to work with. So I'll go down to what we'll also do, in fact, is what we now do is let's have a look at we go back to Daniel Foley now because we've got overview. His domain reputation is 35. So we know, and let's have a look at the Deepak Shukla domain reputation. Let's have a quick look. I think it's a bit lower. In fact, I don't really remember. Okay, yeah, so it's 25. So anything above so we've not done SEO for this site for quite a long time, to be honest with you. As you can see, there's nothing that's going on, so it's all going down. Yeah, so fine. So we've got a domain reputation of 25. He's got 35. So broadly speaking, anything probably above 30 is good for us for the moment. So we'll go ahead to make things easier. I just delete anything below that. So delete the rows. And then also delete the rows. Can I hide rows then? No, hold on. Yeah, fine. So we delete these. Great. So here we go. So now we've got our links. We've got the domain reputations. We've got the content type. So what I would do now is, and we know that it's Daniel Foley, so we probably don't really need the link to that. Probably don't need that. The link anchor. So we can quickly have a look at the link anchor to understand what he's trying to also rank for. Freelance SEO consultant, SEO consultant. So probably his target word is SEO consultant, to be honest with you, apart from his brand name anchor. So that's useful just to know. So we get rid of all of that, delete columns, delete that also. Great. So we've got this now, guys. And we've got ultimately, get rid of that mail merge. Fine. See if that will, yeah, perfect. Delete that. Great. So now we've got content type. So I would, and there's a combination of things that are happening here now. You're going to, of course, find here different types of content. Okay. So what we do is like, if we now just tidy things up, we don't need all of these other tabs anymore. This is Daniel Foley's site. Probably is worth having a look at that, but we're talking about PR. We're not talking about SEO specifically. So what we're doing here is I'd go to insert. I'll probably go to what is it? Hold on. Insert. checkbox. No, not checkbox. Tools.
Data validation.
Data validation. There you go. So list of items. So we'll just do directory. We'll just call them Web 2.0. 2.0. We'll do probably sponsored post in case we think something looks like a sponsored post, or we'll just do guest post for now. Actually, we'll do guest post. We'll do interview, and we'll also do let's do other for now, just to keep it easy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so great. So this is LO is probably a directory. So what I'd start doing is now I go insert one, right? Team. So if it's directory, I would probably now in here add something else. And this is kind of turning into a bit more a combination of SEO and as well as what do you call it? PR. But we'll do, you'll see how it comes around. So one of them's for the SEO team, one of them for the content team, and one of them is for maybe strategy, and then other if we're not sure. So we'll write not sure. Okay, when you're like, I don't know, to be honest with you. So this is directory. That'll go to the SEO team. This is top online resources to learn JavaScript. So we'll take a quick look and see, well, what's he doing here? What is this? That's Netflix that I was just watching. Very good. So this is quotes. Great. So August 28th, 2020 by Jordan Stella. Okay, great. So I would now probably do potentially now people can skip this depending upon how they want to do it, but let's just do that. Obviously they're not all directories, but we're just going to get it all filled in. So you'll quickly so this is we need one more in here. What we need is, did I write quote in here? Interview.
No. You need to do, you can right click on that.
Yeah. So we'll do interview other. We'll do expert roundup. That's what that is. So that's a directory. That's oh no, hold on. Copy that down. Do that. That's done. So now we're looking at this one, which is expert roundup. So what we want to do now, that's good firms is a directory, we know it. That's a profile link. It says profile, so we'll call that directory. This is guest posts. So as you can start seeing, we can very quickly. I mean, I'm gonna just do something. Vinay, do me a favor.
Yeah, sure.
You got your watch next to you, yeah? give me 60 seconds, starting from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. So that's a directory. Health staff discounts. That's a directory. Jack and Bug puzzle. Don't know what that is for the moment. So I'm just going to go to other. We'll go common mistakes. That's probably an interview. Best of life online. Other, because we're not sure. Probably should have had a not sure. 11 ways to instantly see more profitable according to CEOs. So that's obviously an expert roundup. Marketing donut. Outdated beliefs. That's probably a guest post. How your SEO strategy needs to update. That's a guest post, I guess. Things you need to know when hiring an SEO consultant. What is that? Whilst that's loading. Business directory. British Forces discount directory. We can probably tell just from looking at it, to be honest with you, which ones are the guest posts. So if we ignore everything else. So once we've got, let's just go ahead and look at the top couple. So we've got
we are done with 60 seconds.
Perfect. Right. So expert roundup is going to go to the content team. Okay. That is going to go anything that's guest post is going to go to a content team. So this will go to the content team, right? And what we'd also do with the guest posts is go insert one left. No, we'll get rid of that. We'll go to No, we will. So we go to insert one left. We'll go to author. We'll go to email. bloody forgotten how to add that one there. There you go. Author. So I think we already saw on that one. If we go there, no, we go to black. We make that white. We go to bold. We go to maybe 18. Perfect. Go to there. Click it all. Okay, that's easier to work with. So guys, you can probably see where we're going with this, that a lot of the time the key is to identify someone who is similar to yourself, who in my case it would be Daniel Foley we're looking at, for the actual SEO side of it. As you can tell, if we zoom in, we've got clear, different activities for different teams. So directory style, can be passed off, of course, to the SEO team. It might be useful in that context to have a look at the anchors that he's maybe using if you want to identify what's Daniel Foley doing that's working. We'll go to here. We'll have a look at what the so that's just a visit website link, and it goes to his homepage. Let's go to read more. Award-winning SEO consultant. So that's something that he's using. He's also got a second link here, I think. So he's got 2 links from here, from good firms. And if we go to organizational sign up, we see that we can probably get listed, and you'll find out if you need to pay for this listing or not, but they probably do have a free listing. So that's of course the SEO side of it. But with the expert roundup side, which is interesting, let's go to the top online resources now. And I would then look at, well, who's the author? Jordan Stella. Let's have a look at who Jordan. Let's have a look at who this Jordan guy is. Manager in SEO, social, almost a decade, designing websites, post by. Okay, great. So we'll use Hunter. Can we see if we can find Jordan? No, but I'm pretty sure that because it's like that, it'll be just Jordan because of the naming conventions. Morgan, Heidi, Help, Jim. But I'll probably, just to be sure, go to LinkedIn, Up City. Here we go. We found the guy. And now we'll use Scrap. We'll go to Scrap here. Let's see if it finds his. Yep, we got it. Perfect. This is who Jordan is. I'll also send him a connection message. He's actually already published me, Jordan has. Now, I think that to a degree, everyone can kind of see. Vinay, it's probably clear with you where I'm going, right? What I'm trying to do here. Yeah, great, absolutely. Great. So the main target, to be honest with you, is building a relationship with him. Because he has got a very good site, Up City. It's got a domain reputation of 82. Now, what I'm also interested in, because he's the manager of social media and SEO at Up City.
So he will be bringing more opportunities at the later point of time.
Well, there's 2 things to it also, guys, and this is the part that becomes really interesting with SEO. So he's doing expert roundups, right? And let me show you something that happened that was quite interesting. So I'll go to my email. I'm going to search Jordan at Up City. Now we're going to talk about Haro in a minute, but can you see that there? Your Haro submission was featured on Up City. So guys, here we go. Pretty short, blah blah blah. So Deepak, thank you for submitting your response to your recent Haro query. Can you see that here?
Yeah.
Now, this was when was this? 8 days ago, on the 18th of September. So what's interesting here, and this is the part that's really interesting, is that this means. Do you know what this means? I'd love if anyone in the audience can. So this was a quote that we had featured. We found it through through Haro, Help a Reporter Out, which we'll come to talk about. But we'll just find Deepak. Yeah, here we go, Deepak Shukla, and there's my quote. Okay. Now, what's really, really interesting is Actually, you know what? I wanna keep the suspense. Can anyone who's in the audience guess what's a really clever thing that Jordan's doing? I'm gonna show you guys my hair. This hat's getting annoying. Can anyone see what Jordan's doing that's really fucking smart? Because what's more interesting is that their website UpCity has a DR of 84, right? That's bloody high. It's very good. So we have kind of in a way figured out how he's getting a really high DR. Does anyone in the audience have any clues as to why? What he's doing to get a good reputation? Because also Jordan's naturally going to build his network of journalists and bloggers, isn't he? Because people are going to approach him. People like me are going to approach him. Pearl Lemon has a Deepak Shukla has a DA of 25. It's quite low. Pearl Lemon has a better one of 47, 48. He's got one double, 82. So if anyone's listening, what do you think that Jordan's doing maybe potentially as part of one of his strategies?
Guys, if you check the mail, you will have an idea what they are doing. It's pretty clear on the mail itself.
Yeah. So
we have one response here. So they are approaching people who are popular to get quotes.
So
okay.
Yeah. So
shall I pitch in?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, they are getting quotes from going through Haro to get to reach a wider audience, so that they can get to a wider audience. They can reach out to them. So it's kind of a warm relationship. So it's back and forth. And then once the quote is published, they are reaching out to the people who have already get their quote published on their blog. They are reaching out to them to link to their blog again. So whoever expert has submitted their quote, they are reaching out to them to link back to the city.
Amazing. So guys, Vinay clearly knows his stuff because he's got it in one, and I'm going to show you again now exactly what Jordan said to us as soon as we got featured. If you share my screen, I'll show you the email that Jordan sent back to me.
Sure, that's it.
So, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So of course we've approached through Help a Reporter Out. We've got listed, which is great, fantastic. We'll talk about Help a Reporter Out soon enough. But here's my quote. You can see it here. Well, you saw it anyway, so it's fine. So we go back into here and look at what Jordan says. No, hold on. Where is it, Jordan? Here we go. Thank you for submitting a response to your Haro query. Your response was selected to be featured and your post just went live. You can view the post here. Great. Would you be able to link to this piece from somewhere on your site? Could even be a link in an old blog post or press page. Thank you again for a great submission, Jordan. If you don't want to receive emails like this from me, please let me know. So this is an automated sequence he's sending, of course, because it's come like that. So the trick here then is that now if we go to Haro, so Haro, guys, if you don't know it, actually, so hold on, before I continue, who isn't familiar with Help a Reporter Out? Because if you're not, I should really explain it to you. So I just want to double check with the audience before I continue. Are you familiar with Help a Reporter Out? I'll just wait for people to respond.
We have had a couple around it, but we haven't gone deeper into the Haro.
Okay. So I'm gonna log in now, and so there's two approaches here, guys. The approach, of course, number one, which we've talked about, is looking at a company's backlink profile and then beginning to slowly play this journey. And you know that you've got directories, you've got expert roundup, guest posts. Let's have a quick look at a guest post, which was WooRank, meticulous metrics, and let's just see if Jordan is the author. Give me a second. It says by Dimitro, actually. So let's see. Where's so Daniel's got a link to this then probably somewhere. So we should have had a look at where the link was from, but we didn't. It's fine.
We can go to page source and do a search.
Yeah. View. Did you do? See if we can find the word Daniel. There you go. Link building. Let's go back in here. Link building. Oh.
Yeah, content can all help.
Here we go.
Anchor.
Perfect. Okay. So interestingly, I think that Daniel has a relationship with this guy, because I am relatively confident that WooRank would not accept sponsored guest posts. So I think that he's got a relationship with this Dimitro guy. But then what we do, he's head wizard at Solved. So he has been featured in these places. Interesting. So guys, when you're doing PR, the interesting thing now is that I would actually go and find out who this dude is. And I'll be like, okay, so where has he been? He's a CEO of Solve. So I want to look at Solvid because they're probably going to have pretty good SEO. So I want to go and have a look at what these guys do. Let's just quickly jump in and take a look, see what happens. Copywriting and content agency. We go into here, take a look at what they're doing. But yeah, we'll let's have a look. Interesting. Okay, yeah, DR64, 12.2K keywords. Yeah, so they're another really interesting business, and I would literally be like, okay, cool. We've got a couple of new targets. We've got Solved, and we've got UpCity. Probably are a slightly different business because they are a directory, I think. These guys, yeah, UpCity. If we go back to UpCity, if we look at their main website, what kind of company are they? We help business. Okay, so they're like Design Rush or Clutch or one of these directories, good firms. So that's what they
premium
do.
Directories.
Exactly. So we aren't a premium directories. We're an agency, so it's more effective to model agencies that are doing well. So I would probably focus upon Solved, 1 link per domain, link type, do follow. Word or phrase, any target. No, let's just do that. We'll export that. See if that exports. Yeah, fine. 4 rows, 672 rows. So they've obviously spent a huge amount of time, a huge amount of great work. Anyway, so going back to help a reporter out now, guys. So we've discovered a couple of things. One, you can pitch Jordan directly. You can go through LinkedIn to build a relationship. You can go through him and email him directly. I have now sent him a request. I found his email, of course, here through Scrap. And I want to say one thing, guys, that a common approach that people have is taking a scraping tool and then spamming 100 people. And you really should value the links that you get based upon the lifetime of a relationship with someone. If I build a relationship with Jordan, I can probably get so many links and opportunities over time that would be much more effective than me just trying to spam him and getting a no. Does that make sense? Because of the relationship. Yeah, exactly. So we've contacted him on LinkedIn. We could, of course, send him an email. We know that Jordan, as a strategy, is putting some stuff out on Help a Reporter Out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to log in ourselves. And now, guys, Help a Reporter Out is free. Okay, you can upload your details. You can select the areas in which you want to receive content about. So I put UK, business and finance. I don't even know what Master Haro is, to be honest with you. We can save and update it. You've got these options. This is all for free. We don't even. I mean, we should use the paid account really, but we don't. The paid accounts are only $20 to $50 a month. And the key really is that you get to the front of the queue, because get a head start, get alerts for extra time. By the time that we get a response, it's already been out for a couple of hours. So that means several people have responded. So there's 2 ways to use this, guys. And I'm going to go into my email now. Let's just zoom back out when we're thinking about outreach. So let's go to, here we go. Haro query. So one of my team, Heather, she's forwarded it to me. So what we do in here is we can go to sections. So Help a Reporter Out sends you queries each day. So you got so we've got business and finance. Here we go. X ways to deal with constant changes in technology. CEO Blog Nation. So that looks like it's a good one to look at. So here we go. So Thyan Lee, CEO Blog Nation. The deadline is 12 a.m. EST 29th. Fantastic. What is your number 1 tip to deal with constant changes in technology. Now, there's must be a CEO or writing for a CEO, 50 words minimum, 200 words max, name, headshot. Okay, great. So in the beginning, when you build something like this, and we're gonna go ahead and build this one together right now, live on air. So
Awesome,
we'll go ahead and we'll take this one now, because what I want to demonstrate to you guys also is that give me a second. Yeah, no, we've got it. So we'll go into there. We'll just whack it into there so we know we've got all of the information. Right, so I'll close that one down. We'll keep having a look and seeing what else there is. So give me a second. Let's just go to business. Was it there? Yeah, here we go. Back in the business and finance, rideshare insurance, looking to cover Indian fin, how to qualify for business credit card, top bookkeeping issues businesses face. We could probably do that. But there's quite a lot here, if you can see. Blog Nation have got several, right? So that's a good relationship to build. But there's so many here that we could focus on. We'll try and do 3 maybe. So we'll do, let's keep going. Employee appreciation while remote. So most people are remote these days. So that might be a good one. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And we'll go ahead and put that. Oh, sorry. You know what? We'll just delete that email. It'll take me forever to. That's number 2. And we'll pick one more. Brand experts, empathy's role in brand design marketing. So, great. So we'll take this one also, right? Now, I want to outline a couple of things in case you guys are wondering. So, let's remove that. Okay, so we've got 3 now that we're going to work on. A couple of things. If they say anonymous, hold on, they should do anon. No, is it anon? Okay, so sometimes they say anonymous. We're not interested in an anonymous one because they don't pass attribution. That's the first thing. The second thing is that some of these, I'm not technically an expert in that space, arguably. Like, I'm not a brand expert, but I do have a lot of brand experience because, you know, you build your own brand, right? The ultimate end goal with some of these people, so with, for example, probably not this guy, but the CEO at Blog Nation, I probably want to find out who this person is because they look like they've got, I'd be interested in having a look at their website and putting it into Ahrefs. But for the moment, I won't do that because all I want to do is get some of these answers out. So I want to ask you, Vinay, for another favor.
Yeah, sure, man.
I want you to time me for 5 minutes, right? I'm going to try and answer one of them as quickly as I can because I want to show people my process and exactly how I'd answer one. Does that make sense? And how quick it can be?
Sure. Let me know when you are ready.
So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So let's go into here. Brilliant. So we'll go and put that. So we've got that one there. We'll put Ari, brand expert, empathy's role in design. We'll put that there. Hey, Keith. What else does he need? Looking to brand empathy's role in brand and technology is helping researchers and brand leaders leverage empathy. So I would now take that, and instead of trying to think about the answer, I would copy that. I would paste it into Google. Let's have a look. Let's go down. Here we go. How brands are using empathy. Let's have a look at what we can find. And the question is to remind ourselves, empathy's role in brand design. And maybe we do technology and empathy statistics, maybe. Look what comes up. Here we go. The National Autistic Society. So we'll go and grab that. Jump into here. Empathy's role in brand design, marketing, and product development. So now we copy that into here. Type the question is empathy's role in brand design. So, and it's about how telling them around language to. How long do I have left, Vinay?
2:30.
Okay, all right. Got 2.5 minutes to write this answer. So go. Looking to talk about brand experts about empathy's role in brand design and marketing product development. Technology is helping researchers and brand leaders leverage empathy to build better brand experiences. So, hey Keith, one of the first things we do when working with clients at Pearl Lemon is consider market sentiment for issues that align with our clients' goals. For example, according to national statistics, for example, now we've got to slightly rewrite this as evidenced by research from the National Statistics, 19% autism, yet only 16% understand it in a way that in an in-depth fashion. This is why NAS remove. The NAS are using VAR to help people understand what it's like to have autism. Research like this truly allows us to really engage with the wider market when thinking, and the NAS's use of technology when thinking about how to convey brand empathy. Delete all of that from Deepak Shukla. Was that the founder? Was that the alarm for end of time?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Deepak Shukla. Sorry, guys, I ran out of time. But I'll just finish up now if you give me permission, because I'm basically done. If you can see, I've just missed one thing because I'm in Safari. If I go back now to final trick, guys, if you go back to what do you call it? You go back to here. I'm going into Gmail now. It's because I want to, if I go to drafts, to see if it works, you'll see why I need to do this in. So Safari is the fastest loading browser on Macs, but then I send emails in Chrome because I can use GMAS. So GMAS allows me to put it into a drip campaign. If no reply after 2 days, hey Keith, just making sure you saw this. I hope it's appropriate for your article. Your send. So that probably, with talking, took me 6.5 minutes. But is that hopefully clear, guys? That how quickly using Haro you can start generating PR on a lot of sites for a lot of the time have actually relatively good DADR, and we've been using this process to actually land features. And I've been talking for a long time, but I want to finish off with the final trick that I think that we should all do. Can I share it with you, Vinay?
Absolutely, man.
So now we are, hey, I'm Deepak. I'm looking for a post. How do we become Jordan? We want to be Jordan at Up City. So we go again. We share my screen. We go back to Haro now. We go to Haro. We go back to here, the home page, because they have an option saying, I'm a journalist. So the quickest way to get expert roundups where you can start asking them to link you back is by actually putting out your own requests for expert roundups yourself. And that is the way that I would look at approaching it. So we go into here for journalists, we go to submit a query, submit free source request, select the perfect pitch, get started. And in here, you can literally start submitting requests. So this is what I would also do, because then once you, for example, get 20 experts, you can just select people that have good domains, you can feature them, and then you can ask them for a link back. And this is a process that you can follow with not only Help a Reporter Out, but several other websites that are similar to Help a Reporter Out, including Source Bottle, Free Publicity Source. Go into here to let this load. The media wants to love your stories. Find a source, be a source. So we'd want to find a source potentially or be a source. But again, this is a platform that is also free. And then if you use these two in combination with the final one, which was Twitter, we'll go to Twitter and we'll search again finally, which was the two PR request. Have a look at anything that comes up. And I think we were searching SEO even. Writers wanted, the lifestyle blogger. Maybe some of these are sponsored posts. But looking for people's top. This is, so we'll go instead to Journo Quest. Have a look at what comes up. Writers wanted. I know. So sorry, it's because we need to go to latest. Journo request or Haro, and then people are leaving comments there. Learn the SEO trends. Welcome to any other input to this. So this is about Shopify SEO, which is great because that's something that we're doing. And I would also start screening this to have a look at where you can identify ultimately, planning my contact for other places for opportunities. So that is hopefully some practical insights, guys, as to how you could start thinking about actually doing PR.
Yeah, one thing people can do with the Twitter is like they can go to advanced search and add locations as well for their local businesses.
Agreed.
And that will do wonders for them as well.
Agreed.
Because they will be building relationships with local journalists, bloggers, and all that. They can build a local community, and they can leverage it over time.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And you know, the thing is that in the beginning it starts slow, but you build a couple of good relationships. And as you saw, it took me 5 to 6 minutes. Let's assume it takes you 10, but you can allocate someone on your team to do it. And then when you start doing your own expert roundups, you then start building relationships, and then it gets really interesting. And I think the other final thing that I'll also add, guys, it's a cool trick that I started doing recently for digital PR is, do I have time to show them this?
Yeah. You have
Okay, brilliant. So if you have any success stories with, I'm sharing my screen, by the way. So if you let me share my screen, I'll show you some examples of it, guys. So if you have any success stories with companies or with software that you use, you can then approach them with your success story. And we've been doing this. And what I'll share with you is, we go to LeadWorks. Here we are. That's me, founder at Pearl Lemon Leads, as you can see. We'll go to Lemlist. Use cases. We go to for agencies. We've got Pearl Lemon. I think there's a link in here somewhere. I need to go and find it. Or maybe they've not given us a link yet. Maybe I need to check. I'll find out. It might be somewhere else. We've also got the same thing for Woodpecker, Pearl Lemon. So the guys, the other thing that you can actually do is, here we go. See how Pearl Lemon Leads uses cold emailing. That's on the Woodpecker blog. We're also looking at we approach absolutely everybody. Every software tool that we use, DocSketch, I think, is the latest one that we're using. DocSketch. Here we go. DocSketch support. Here we go. Anyway, yeah, DocSketch is another one. So yeah, here we go. The answers for DocSketch for their quotables. So the other thing that you can do, guys, is really think about, if you have a story of success with any software tool, bloody approach them and tell them, hey, I made this amount of money with your tool. Could I leave a testimonial for you? And that can also lead to you getting some really good PR and also drive referral traffic and get you recognized. And also think about company alignment. For me, PR from Lemlist, Woodpecker, Mailshake, we've just done a case study with them as well. I've also approached a couple of SEO tools that we use as part of our agency, and they're very happy to promote their brand because we have brand alignment. You look at Pearl Lemon online, you look at Deepak Shukla online. If you get approached by us, you think, you know what? This is a brand that's going to make us look good. He's got a success story. Of course, let's bloody put it on our website. So that's why in the beginning, I was saying it's super important to have a good brand, because then people will look at you and think about also their own benefit. What's in it for me? That applies to podcasts. That applies to testimonials. That applies to, we're doing a course now for Commission Crowd. So another good one, finally. If I can finally share this with you, dude. I'm sharing my screen again. Sorry. I keep sharing my screen, guys. Is if I go to here, I have recorded. It started with, if I go to YouTube. So one of the things that we do to drive great relationships is when they come. So if you type in, if you went to Google and typed Commission Crowd, so that's where you can get sales agents. Commission Crowd, commission only salespeople. Commission Crowd reviews. Look who's at the top. I'm at the top on their channel because that was an interview we had with them, but that interview happened because I did a video without asking them. I just did a video saying how awesome their tool was and how much money that we made. I sent it to them. They loved it. They wanted to do an interview with us, right? Then we went to, if you go to their website now, I think they put it onto their website where it goes to companies. I can't remember where it is, but there's a testimonial on their website somewhere that people can look at also. And because of a result of that, we've also exchanged links. And we're now, if I go to my Google Drive, I'm in the middle of finishing a course for them, like an actual course about how to get the best from Commission Crowd. And they're going to share this with their 20,000 users. As you can see here, I recorded this course. And that all started with me just recording a video saying, guys, I think Commission Crowd is awesome. This is a result that I have. I didn't ask them, could I send you one? I just sent them one. And they loved it. And from there, a big relationship has built. So that's why I do believe that building relationships when you're approaching digital PR is really damn important. I hope that's been helpful to everybody.
That's amazing, man. because like every other thing, it is a channel of promotion, right? So unless you have a great product, whichever promotional channel you use, it won't gonna make a difference, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really think that, you know, there's so much leverage you have with PR. PR is quite broad. Ultimately, the end goal is brand exposure. You want to expose your brand and get the benefits that come with that to new audiences. And there's some simple things that you can do. The testimonial stuff, you know, if you're a new business, of course, then maybe it's a bit more of a challenge, and you need to go through looking at, you know, a competitor's backlink profile, doing the different kinds of links, having a look at those pieces. But as you build a strong brand, you build some success, you can also start expanding that into testimonials, especially where you can track it against revenue. And I think that then the more you do, the easier that it gets for you. And in the beginning, I think that, you know, using Help a Reporter Out, fantastic way to approach it. Just building a simple, nice website that reflects your skills will help you a lot, because it's all about perception. And then that slowly snowballs, and it becomes easier and easier to get quotes, to get links, to do all of those pieces.
Yeah, it gets you links, it gets you exposure, takes half of the, even like quarter of the time that it takes to get a guest post.
Exactly. Because I literally went on to LeadWorks and I went onto the chat bot saying, guys, I made $25,000 using your tool. Do you want me to write a testimonial? And they were like, bloody awesome. We'll put it on the homepage. And it made sense for them, because they looked us up. They're like, well, this is a lead generation agency. We're a lead generation tool. They've got a commercial result. Why wouldn't they want to put it up? And then they look at the website and they think, this is a nice looking website. This guy looks like, you know, there's brand alignment, like we said. Remember I showed you that Gmail from that random blogger? Like,
yeah,
it needs to all make sense. It all needs to fit. And I've done that now with Clear Out. I just approach them on the chat bot saying, I had this success. Can I talk about it? They're like, yeah, brilliant. I've done it with any software tool. As soon as I get an instant result, any result, I message them on the chat saying, can I have it? Can I write a testimonial? Can I write a testimonial? And we've won clients from that. We've had people approaching us saying, oh, Deepak, you know, I saw you guys on Lemlist. So, you know, you must know what you're doing, etc. And I was like, I just share your success stories. It's PR. It's public relations and all of it. And it's easier. As you said, it's much easier than doing email outreach.
Yeah, because you already have what they need. In the guest post or cold outreach thing, you are all literally trying to convince them. Here, you don't have to convince them.
Exactly. And that's part of the reason also, guys. We often, every month or two, switch out tools to just use something different. And if we get a result from it, we'll then, you know, approach the company. So if all of you have a really big tool stack, and especially if you're using tools from companies where they're relatively small, you know, it's more difficult to get, for example, a testimonial from MailChimp. It's probably not going to happen, I expect. I don't know. I've not tried it yet. Maybe I should try. But you know, do have a look at building your entire tool stack, and then if you've had a commercial result that you can prove, message every company that you use, especially if you've got a brand that will benefit them as well from exposure. And then combine that with Help a Reporter Out. You can be both a journalist and you can be a source. And then you can do expert roundups without doing all of the hard work is done by Help a Reporter Out, because guys like me will have a team who sit there and start messaging people on Help a Reporter Out.
That makes sense. The thing is, whenever we look people doing outreach, whether it's to sell links, whether it's for PR, they are just trying to get by doing the most basic things, like just do prospecting, just write a template, automate it. That's it. And while I have been talking to a guy on Twitter, you might know him. It goes by the username Black Hat Wizard.
Okay.
Or his name is Daniel. So he have mentioned like your emails should be so much personalized when you are doing cold email that same email can't be sent to another person. Even when you are automating, you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, with you know, guys, with automation, and again, it's you know, if we take the example of Jordan at Up City, you look at someone he's featured, you look at another cool approach that you guys can do. I'll share my screen again. So
Faiz?
Right. So
Visual.
let's go back to that. Let's go back to that place where I was quoted, because I want to talk to you about something else that you could do. So expert roundups. Hey D, no, where is it gone? Oh, here we go. Okay, great. So if we go back to that place where we were quoted, what you could also do is, and let's close all of these out. And remember, guys, you know, it's the real game is to build the relationships. You saw what happened with Commission Crowd. You know, I'm also doing a course for Lemlist as well, because Lemlist have said, here we go, short course, 40 to 60 minutes. And I was very honest about what I want. Look, I said, what's in it for you? But what's in it for me? Exposure. You know, Lemlist have a list probably of 30, 40,000 people. Okay. And that's all my potential clients, because I run a lead generation agency. And
yeah, along with that, they have a Facebook community that is pretty active.
Exactly. And then it ended with saying, hey man, looks really legit. We will help you with distribution for sure. We can talk about a plan in detail once it's ready. So this all started with me recording a video. You saw the Commission Crowd thing. I'm following the same process here. I record a video saying, I think your tool's amazing. I send it to them. They really appreciate it. Then there becomes a quote. The quote gives you a link. Then you might have a blog post. Then from that, you could potentially look at if there's alignment, especially if you've got a commercial result from the tool. Most companies, let's give you an example of it. Let's just go right now to what? Let's go to AppSumo, because most companies, for the most part, if we go to browse, let's just pick a company that's on here to show a live example of exactly what I mean. So Attention Insight. Cool. Let's go to let's just go to Attention Insight. What do these guys do? Advertising. Okay, so we go to Attention Insight. Let's go to their website. Here we go. Now you can with Attention Insight. Let's see if that opens up. Great. So we're on Attention Insight. So first of all, guys, they're doing their launch, of course. So imagine you bought the tool, and even within one day, you got a 23% increase from something. Let's have a look to see if they have testimonials on their homepage. They do. So you could ask to get a testimonial just for the brand exposure if you want it, if you know, because they're going to be very active on the chat right now. So you could talk about the commercial result, number one, if you had one. Then number two, we'd look at going to case studies and seeing what they're doing. And let's just have a look at what they do with case studies. So this is a very short case study. So imagine now that you wrote, so I would just literally do something like, where's their chat? They probably have a website chat, don't they? Okay, they do. So they're using Intercom or whatever. So yeah, we run on Intercom. So I might say something like, we go back to here. We'll see who's left the thing. Camille. Can we see Camille's face here? Doesn't matter. Hey guys, recently looked at your AppSumo deal. I've had some amazing results with your tool. Would love to leave a testimonial about how much success some of our clients have seen with Attention Insight. I run an agency. Deepak. And this is the part that's really important, guys. Deepak, because I've got a strong brand, and by the way, strong brand, what I mean by strong brand, guys, is just building a bloody good website, okay? In this instance, because they will just quickly do this and be like, okay, yeah, fine. This looks like a good company to align ourselves with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they just look at that, and then, you know, I'd send that off, and I will then give them a way to reach you. Yeah, fine. Is there anything else? So I will leave that now because I know that they're going to be coming back to us because they're live on AppSumo. But then I'd also go to their YouTube. Do they have a YouTube? No, they don't even have a YouTube link here. But I'm doing this with LeadWorks now. So with LeadWorks, because let's have a look. LeadWorks ideas. Here you go. So I told you I contacted them on the chat. Then I said, look, I've got some ideas. We record some tutorials for your YouTube channel and show you how we use LeadWorks. He said, both sounds awesome. Thanks. Maybe we can start with number one. Hopefully that will benefit you as well. What are your thoughts that would get the most for your effort? And I need to record for each section. Then you can have them as in-app pop-up videos for how it works. So I'm now going to do videos for LeadWorks because their users are my ideal client base. And for LeadWorks, it looks so fantastic if one of their users actually shows how they use the tool to generate an income. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I also look at the video aspect of what companies are doing and think, how can I add value using my actual my testimonial and case study for them? And I was going to not even show you any of that, because what I was going to come to was, okay, this is the other thing. So I am quoted on this ad, on this thing here. So what you can also do is have a look at all of these people that were quoted as well. So let's have a look at Ryan Collinson. So he obviously is doing a PR game as well because he's here. Okay. So what I want to do then is anytime you're quoted, especially in expert roundups, you want to email and build a relationship with all of these guys. Because all of these guys, you first would say something like, Jace, just saw that we were both quoted on the same Up City blog. Really love what you're doing. Would be good to, have a call sometime, or maybe even be direct and say, maybe to swap some introductions we could make each other or something like that. But you probably don't want to say that first, but just you want to show appreciation. If we go to here, surprise, surprise, what did we see? He is thinking about SEO, of course. So if we now go to Jason Rodley, let's have a look at Jace Rodley and see what this guy's doing. And let's also have a look at his website to see if there's what I'm doing now about. Okay, great. So you want to build relationships with all of these guys as well, because then you can get exposure potentially to their network if you build relationships with them. And then again, PR starts getting easier and easier because of all of the friends you start to make. Does that make sense? So every time you're quoted, build the list of all of the other people who are quoted, say congratulations, not even congratulations, just say, hey, I really enjoyed looking at your quote when I read the article. You look like you're doing some awesome stuff. We're obviously both interested in building exposure for our brands. Maybe we should connect on a phone call sometime. And I've done that once or twice as well to build some really solid relationships that again lead to better link building, better PR for your company. So that's the other thing that we should all do. Once we get a quote, approach everybody and see what that brings.
Yeah, this is synonymous to, like, if you are an SEO agency and you are getting featured in Moz Whiteboard Friday. That's gonna be crazy for you. Exactly.
You're completely right, Vinay. And I wanted to share my screen and show this stuff to you guys because it's not difficult to do, but it does require a little bit of thought because it's easier to scrape a list and email everybody with a bad email. But that's not what's going to get you the best results, not the really powerful results that you want. And I think that as you said, if you're more careful with the approach you take, you can really get much better results.
Exactly.
So I think
we have some comments over here.
Yeah.
So let's. I want to ask you one more thing. Like, let's say we are going to the tool stack and reaching out to them to leave us a testimonial or to get a better or to do that the course thing, something like that, similar thing.
Yeah.
So what would be your approach? Like, would you send a testimonial first and then carry on the conversation later on, or you will directly go with the later part?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's relationship stacking. Okay, you've got to stack and start with. Ultimately, if you're going on a date, you're not going to ask the girl to get married on the first date. First of all, you say, hey, would you like to have a cup of coffee? Coffee goes well. Maybe you go for lunch. Lunch goes well, you go for dinner. Then you go and have dinner and drinks. Then maybe you stay together for a while. Then you start dating. This is the same thing. Now, if you approach the date the first time and you've got a really nice well-cut beard, you've took care of everything, i.e. you've got a website, you've got your brand, you can probably get to some of the steps faster. If you don't have it, you might get ignored because they're like, well, this guy has not washed his hair or cleaned his hair. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I wouldn't ever approach anybody with like doing, can I do a course for you first time? Because they're like, I don't know you. I don't know you, dude. But as you build, I would start with the small thing, a testimonial. Even if they don't give you a link, that's fine. Get it, come back in a week or two. Maybe you can ask them for a blog post to write a guest post about your experience. They'll probably say yes. Then you can ask for links in both of them and you can slowly build a relationship that way. And as we know, guys, getting, from a PR or SEO perspective, for us Pearl Lemon leads, getting Mailshake and Lemlist and Woodpecker, they're so relevant to our business, and getting quotes as well as links, as well as referral traffic, because I've had success results with all of those platforms, this makes so much sense for us. So that's why you also need to think about, what are you trying to achieve with your PR? Who is your actual audience? What are you trying to do? So, think about these things, and I think that you'll see success, I hope.
Yeah, when you are just starting out and you have to compete with this big players, you can't go the traditional way. You have to be creative. You have to go there.
You have to, approach it in this way. And, the more you do, it's true that the easier it gets and stuff. And, I think that looking through the questions. Yeah. I think that, these are the approaches that we do at Pearl Lemon. I think that when you can attach a business to a personal brand, because it's still a people business, I think that that's really important. I think it changes a little bit when you're looking at mainstream media and you're looking at trying to get brand, getting PR, for example, for the company Pearl Lemon. Then the approach is looking at places where they're, of course, talking about something that's, it depends what you're trying to do, really. It depends if you want the anchor text or you care about Pearl Lemon as a company getting branded. But yeah, fundamentally, it's relationship still. The Ryan at Commission Crowd, we're on WhatsApp now. The other guys were on WhatsApp, and it started really with just the website chat. It's funny. It's really about that.
And we are on WhatsApp.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good example of it. So
and the best thing about it is like, people connect with people. People are not going to connect with brands, right? Ultimately, even if you are connected with this brand, you are connecting a people over there, or a person over there, right?
Exactly.
What I personally believe is, like, you need to focus on your personal brand first, and you can piggyback your company company on your personal brand, like Gary is doing. He's the absolute example of that.
Yeah. Guys, it's Larry Kim WordStream. They sold for a couple of $100 million. Rand Fishkin, Moz, $1 billion company. You've obviously got Gary Vaynerchuk. You've got, Hollywood Hollywood and sport is the greatest example of it. Conor McGregor is arguably bigger than the UFC. Jordan, Tiger Woods, Ronaldo. It's applied because
Elon
it's humans.
Musk.
Yeah,
Elon
exactly.
The other day I was talking to someone, and I asked him, what comes to your mind when you hear about Ford or any Ford Mustang, let's say, or a Ferrari? You imagine a very beautiful car and a very muscular car, right?
Yeah.
But whenever you hear about Tesla or SpaceX, you instantly imagine about Elon Musk, not the car, not the rockets. You hear about the person. You imagine about the person.
And that's what's different today, guys.
And that's the association you want with people. Because if they feel they can associate with you, they can come to you. They can help you much better.
Yeah. Exactly that, I think. And I think that, it is a people business that we're in now. What's different from 50 years ago is the, influencer marketing is what has changed because of the way that technology has allowed the distribution of voice. And that's what's different now versus no one knew who was the founders of Harvard Business School or Coca-Cola or Procter and Gamble, but that's because they were born in a different era. Today we live in the era of individuals being brands that are billion-dollar companies. So that's why you're completely right. And if anybody's watching that, if you've got a client, if you've got anybody, I would massively recommend just ensuring that if you're doing it on behalf of a client, convince them, or if your project is big enough, to just have some information about themselves, expand the About Us on the company page, make sure their LinkedIn profile is up to date. In a worst case scenario, get an up-to-date LinkedIn profile. On the company site, get an About Us that mentions, Richard, if it's Richard, and you can try and hang off those two things, because when you're getting, features, people are going to look towards the individuals that are built, have built a company, and that's where the relationship part comes into play. So I think you're completely right, Vinay.
Yeah, and one very recent example or very good example of it is Tim Solo of HS, right?
Yes.
Even though he's not the founder, he's the person of he's the face of the company. People don't even like almost 80% of people don't even know who the founder is.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
no, go ahead. Oh, I just think that with PR in general, like let digital PR, that these examples that we've outlined apply to any type of PR that you're getting. It is relationship based, and as you begin to potentially get more sophisticated and you look at tools maybe like BuzzStream or Pitchbox, and you want to start doing some more kind of outreach, or there's various PR tools that you can use that fundamentally, with proper outreach and having potentially, well, that's a story for another time when we look at more traditional PR outreach. But anyway, I kind of just wanted to wrap up for those who are listening with saying that I know that we're coming up to the hour and a half. Yeah,
we only have a couple questions, so we can take if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we had in the beginning, this is a loaded question for me. How much creativity is too much creativity when it comes to marketing? I see some people sway from the purpose in the process.
I think that you need to have something that's a little bit novel. So too much creativity is trying to reinvent the wheel. Creativity would be adding a stabilizer to your wheel because your wheel is a bit rickety. So, in for example, what we do at Pearl Lemon, a small example of it, and there's lots of small things you could do to be creative. How many SEO agency owners come on wearing hats like this? It's different. It's something maybe that you remember. How many agencies have a bright yellow colors? So creativity is I think making small changes to things that people are already familiar with, so that it feels like it's fresh. A little bit like the stories in Hollywood are all fundamentally the same. They're about love, they're about war, and they're about someone's journey to success. But you fundamentally tweak a few things, and that's why you get things like Casablanca, and then Notting Hill, or whatever it might be. So I think that you tweak certain things.
That's a brilliant example, man. So we have another question related to the Haro thing you showed us.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing percentage of approved replies at Haro? I have had nearly 70%, but wondering what the industry average and high benchmarks are.
I think 70. If you get 70% response rates, then if you're getting quotes 70% of the time, I think that's fantastic. We don't get 70% quotes at the time. I don't know what the industry average is, but I think a 70% approved reply rate in any industry is absolutely massive. I'd love to, if those numbers are real, and forgive me, Krinal, but getting 7 people that say yes to your quote out of 10 sounds unbelievable. I would love to see it. I would love to see it genuinely, So please do hit me up, Krinal, and you'll probably be invited back onto the show if that's real. Our response rates are, I mean, I'm not writing my responses anymore, but our response rates are probably like about 20%, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 get probably approved, let's say.
Yeah, but it also depends on how many replies you are doing, right? how many submissions you are doing. So you are
Yeah.
doing probably much more submissions.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. That's also true. The team we're doing about 7 or 8 a day now. So I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, I think we average around between 10 and 20%.
We should get you two on a show.
I'd love to be on it.
About
Yeah.
Haro.
Yeah, dude. Haro's cool, man. It's slept upon a little bit, but you do it consistently, and you can get a lot of good stuff from it. And then you get the expert roundups that you can start doing. I mean, you know, there's still a lot of things. You know, some of these things we're not doing all of them, but you know, we're beginning to slowly implement them. We've done a lot of it for clients, but yeah, I think that it's a good space that's cheap and pretty effective to do.
Yeah, man. Let's set something up with you. I will arrange it. I will be the host.
Good man. We could do a show about Haro.
Yeah, we can go get 3-4 people who only do Haro and go deep on the Haro only, right?
Yeah. Really, we can. It's that good at all.
It was awesome, man. Really awesome. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. You have been amazing since the beginning. And we have seen some things that most people don't even think of. We think we presume that people are gonna say no, and we don't even make an effort. So that was really amazing, man.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And guys, for you listening, I hope that you've got value. You know, I'm showing you stuff that we do today that works, and I just want to, you know, keep. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys crush it. So thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Faiz. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, man. Let's do it again sometime, right?
Absolutely.
See ya, man.
See ya.